real-life mobster James Whitey Bulger in the new movie Black Mass. It opens theaters a week from Friday. Please say hello to Johnny Depp. It's very good to see you. Very excited. You know, there are a lot of, like, handsome guys in Hollywood. There are a lot of guys that women get excited about, but you struck a nerve somewhere, like, in the 90s that is never going to go away. And this audience is so horny for you right now.
That'd be quite an undertaking. Wouldn't it?
But I think you could do it. I really think you could get through everybody.
Here or...
Hey, do you love your fans or not? I mean, that's the question.
I do, and I'll prove it. I will.
You know what, I was thinking about this today, and I don't know why this popped in my head, but I never heard of anyone else with the last name Depp. Or besides your family members, are there do you run into Depps?
No.
No, there are no Depps. What's the origin of that name in the first place?
No idea.
No idea. It's not short for anything?
Could be. Most likely. I think it probably derives from, like, the, sort of northern France, Dieppe, and then it was...
I see.
Went off
do you have, like, distant relatives that contact you and say, hey, give us money,
yeah,
come to our thing?
Yeah, I did have that for a while, yeah.
You do, yeah. That makes it hard to go to the family reunion, doesn't it?
You're like, who? What's your name?
Yeah, that's so good. And your wife, Amber Heard, she did not take your last name because then she would be Amber Deppard, right? And it sounds too much like Shepherd.
You're right.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. You are right. Maybe I'll take her name.
Yeah, well, yeah, that might be that'd be a weird thing. Yeah, so you and your wife got into some, I don't know, is it legal trouble? Is that a fair way to describe it?
I mean, if that's legal trouble, it's by far the most interesting I've ever experienced.
You went to Australia, shooting Pirates of the Caribbean.
Indeed.
And your dogs, you brought dogs into the country. Did you smuggle the dogs into the country?
No, the dogs we were under the impression that we had all the paperwork done for the dogs. We were there with the dogs in front of everybody. There might have been other things smuggled.
But not dogs.
Well, they seem to miss that bit. But
so the
I'm
minute
saying you might have been, could have been.
You brought your dogs with you. You're there working for a long period of time, and it's a normal thing to do. You bring your two little dogs, and then the Minister of Agriculture, I guess for all of Australia, I don't know exactly how it works there, holds a press conference.
He sure did.
And says this. What kind of a maniac is this? He's going to kill your dogs if you don't send them back to California.
You know, maybe he's just doing his job.
No. That is one of the craziest things I think I've ever heard.
Well, there, I mean, this sort of like weird, sweaty, painted gut man.
Yeah.
Who decided that, like, 2 5-6 inch teacup Yorkshire Terriers would harm the country in some way. He's got a point. Especially when you consider that Australia has the most poisonous creatures on Earth.
Yeah, that is true. Everything is dangerous there.
Everything will kill you within minutes.
And that was, by the way, this guy went on and on and on. Well, let's show more clip.
Oh, yeah. And after that, I don't expect to be invited to the opening of Pirates of the Caribbean.
what did one thing have to do with another? Like, you know, that I had been voted some kind of thing, and that was
not some kind of thing. People's sexiest man alive. The highest honor a human being can receive.
How did that? I don't know. I can't quite equate the two. I just had. It was funny.
Yeah, it's funny, except for your wife actually is like they've threatened to put her in jail. Isn't that true?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean they do all that kind of stuff. You know, if they should, if they did that, I'd just fly to Australia and assault that man.
Yeah, right.
So that I could go.
Jack Sparrow's not going to stand by and let this happen. Johnny Depp is here. His great movie, which we'll show you a clip of when we get back, is called Black Mass. We'll be right back after this. That is Black Mass, Johnny Depp. It opens 1 week from tomorrow, and I have to say, I love this story about James Whitey Bulger, and I've been following this story. For those who haven't been, he's a gangster. Would you call him a gangster? I guess you would call him a gangster.
Yeah, I mean, in South Boston, you know, he was the sort of the power in the area, and you know, in that field, let's say, gangster, or, you know, the common language is really violence. You know,
yeah,
that's how you hold your.
Very violent guy, disappeared for a while, and then turned up in an apartment building in Santa Monica, of all places.
16 years living, like, you know, just. He was free as a bird walking around Santa Monica.
Your performance in this movie is, I know you don't like to watch yourself in the movies. Have you seen this movie?
You know what? Yeah, I broke my rule.
You did?
Because in Venice, we showed the film at the festival there, and I told the lights went down, and I told the director, who was sitting just to my right, I said, listen, I'm skipping out. I can't do it. And he said, you know, please watch the film, you know. So, okay, yeah. So I sat there, like, you know, hyperventilating. And watched, you know, a bit of it, and it's a beautifully made film, and there's a lot of great actors in there.
There's a lot of great acting in that movie, too. Yeah.
Great actors, but I, you know.
But you were the best one, yeah.
I have a problem watching films of any kind.
Really?
Unless it's a documentary, I can watch those. But like, you know, cinema, like films, I become narcoleptic.
You fall asleep in the movie, huh?
I fell asleep about 15 times. And it was, my wife was kind of, you know.
How do you, a Boston accent, I think, is, I wouldn't say necessarily trickiest to do, but you're going to get the most flack from people if you don't do it properly. Because people from Boston are very particular about just about everything.
Very, very proud of it.
So how did you learn that accent?
Well, you know, it's a tough one. The only way to really do it is that I hung out with, you know, prior to going to Boston, I had spent a lot of time with one of my all-time guitar heroes, Joe Perry from Aerosmith.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah.
And so...
And, so Joe's got a pretty thick Boston accent.
Yes, he does.
So I just sponged it.
Wow.
You know.
Wow, so there's a little Joe Perry in Whitey Bulger,
There is indeed, you know.
Speaking of Joe Perry, you have this album, and this comes out next, on Friday this comes out? Or
the 11th, I think.
It comes out on the 11th, this Friday. It's called Hollywood Vampires. I'm going to show it to you. Tell us some of the guys that are on this album with you, because it's a pretty unbelievable list.
It's pretty crazy. It started out with... Alice Cooper, we came and did a spot in Dark Shadows, and we played together at the 100 Club. He invited me up. And afterwards, we were talking, and he said, we should, you know, why don't we write some songs? And about a month later, he shows up in L.A. I had already written a bunch of music, and we started recording. Then it became this vampire thing, and then Joe Perry came in, and then We had Joe Walsh come in. We had Robbie Krieger from The Doors. Paul McCartney, Sir Paul McCartney came in.
That's pretty good, yeah.
I mean,
that's a good one.
It was shocking, you know?
Even you, do you look around and go, how the hell did this happen? I'm playing with Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
This song, My Dead Drunk Friends,
Yes.
not only is it a great song, it's one of the funniest songs I think I've ever heard. Is really, really good and very, very funny. I mean, you should pick up this album. It's called Hollywood Vampires, and it comes out on Friday. And, of course, go see Black Mass. It opens a week from tomorrow in theaters. Johnny Depp, thank you, Johnny. Thank you for being